Okay, so we're going to be doing a Monet Bottle Lilies painting today using Autodesk Sketchbook. So I've sent you an image of the painting we're going to copy, and the first thing I want you to do is use the insert tool, which is the wee mountain, and you go to your photos and you just want to insert that and make it the size of the canvas. We'll just leave a wee border around it. Oh, and make sure it's straightened up. And once you've got that inserted, you want to work on another layer. So I'm going to change my layers around so I've got one on top. But I'm going to click on the original one and I'm going to click on my colours and then click on the drop, and using that I'm going to get the main colour of the painting, which is this kind of blue colour, and I'm going to use that as the base. So in this layer now I'm going to use the bucket tool and I'm going to just fill the whole thing blue. So that's pretty straightforward. So that's going to be our background. And now I'm going to turn that off. Go add another layer on top. So we're going to be using loads of layers, and this is how the artist would have worked, how Monet would have actually worked when he's painting by hand. If you look at the paint strokes, there's lots and lots of layers built up and up and up and up. And that's what we're going to do, and each time we go into a different colour, we're going to add in another layer. So the next thing we're going to do is use the dropout tool again, and I'm going to pick maybe the next most common colour, which I think would probably be like this light bluish colour. And now I'm going to choose a brush and I'm going to make the size fairly big, but the opacity, which means how dark it goes, I'm going to make it quite light. And now I'm going to put the blue back on here. And I'm going to keep on looking back and forward to where the light blue bits are, so they're kind of all around here. And I'm going to use, what paintbrush will I use? Use this one, I think, and make it really big, because I can't be bothered to mess about. Yeah, that works nicely. And I'm going to add in, going back and forth to the original. Actually, for this you can just paint straight onto the original. Put in where I see any of those light blue bits. So they're around there. Oh. And a little bit up here. Now I'm going to go add in another layer. Get rid of this. I'm going to go into these pinky colours now with the dropper. Probably these peachy ones first. And I want my brush to be slightly smaller this time, not as big. And I'm just gonna add in where I see that colour on top. We're not going to add too much detail at this stage, it's just kind of getting the base colours in. It kind of looks easier if your paintbrush is quite big actually. Can just do some daubs, there's a couple there. I'm going to make the opacity way down and make the paintbrush smaller. Try and add in some of these wee bits. See how I'm using like little feathery touches as well. And to check how my work's going, I'm going to do that. Yeah, that looks quite nice. It's starting to look a bit more like the painting. So I'm going to add another layer, and I'm going to use the dropper tool to go into the pinky colour now. Which pink should I use? This one. I'm going to make my brush slightly bigger again, and I'm going to start to add in these kind of pink tones that I'm seeing around here. Maybe make it a bit darker. You can even look into the lilies at this stage. Today we're not going to add too much detail, we're just doing little bits. So remember, once again, to see what you're doing, you want to get all these up again. So I can tell if I make these all invisible again. And this painting is a lot lighter in the middle. So what I'm going to do actually is go back into that creamy layer, and I'm going to make the brush really quite big. And I'm going to, on this creamy layer, make sure I've got the right colour. Go. I'm gonna add in quite big sections. I think it just needs that. No, you can't choose to rearrange your layers, so that's what I'm actually going to do. I think the blue should be on top of that. Yeah, that looks better now. And what we're going to do is we're just going to keep on building into it every time. So I'm going to look at this. I think I need more lilac-y colours in. So with the dropper tool, now sometimes your colour will be up here. I've just got mine set differently. So if I press that, it will do the same thing. I just have mine as a separate thing here. So I think I need like a lilac-y colour. A light blue. And I'm gonna just thinking what layer I want to put that on. I think I want it, yeah, at the back kinda. So I'm gonna just put it on with this layer. And what you want to do is just keep on building it up until it looks like this. So at this stage you'll see that there's lots of small details. So I'm going to make my brush quite a bit smaller, a bit more stronger colour. And I'm going to go into the cream, the orangey colour again. I'm going to do it on the pink layer. You can keep on adding more layers for this, so you can just go into the other ones. That's what I've decided to do. Oh, make sure you can see what you're doing though. I'm just going to add in some of these bits. Maybe make my brush a bit bigger. And there's actually quite a big patch that goes up here. And that's even now just starting to look more like the background. Today I want you to focus on getting like this central area done. Keep adding more detail till you've just got the basic colours. If we zoom in, you can see all the detail of his paint strokes. Now that we are going to add in later on, but even just from the effects that we've been doing, you're starting to get that. Starting to give you that painterly feel. So I've used this paintbrush. Opacity is always, so it's 61 there, a little flow. 61 there, but you can have it below. Paintbrush I move up and down in size. I make sure to add more layers, so that means if I'm not sure if I like something, it's a lot easier to delete it. So for example, instead of having to rub out this whole section with all the different colours, I can just rub out this one section from here. And I'll still have the other layers in there. I'm just going to backspace. So by the end of today, I expect you to have an image like this. And I would like you to finish off the whole painting background. So the whole thing should be painted the background base colours with no detail or anything yet, just the colours. So you want to get the colour scheme of the whole painting, focusing on this middle section. For the rest of this tutorial, I'm just going to do what it should be like, and I'll speed forward to the result that I expect you to have in the end.